is it not on there?
Hmm?
What happened with that?
I can move it over there if we want. I mean,
Hello there, Facebook folks. Hi. Oh, wait. Did I share it on my page? I need to do that. My bad. I'm trying to get my life together. Good to see you. Happy Thursday evening.
hmm
Happy Thursday evening.
I like Thursdays too because it's like before you get all set in your Friday, you get you get
Get a little taste of this.
get a little something on your
Little something,
Thursday. That's
something.
right.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about it is that it makes me know that I have one more day
Joe.
to get to sleep in.
One more day to get sleeping. That's what you do.
One more day before I get to sleep
Oh,
in.
okay, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. And I have one more week and then I'm on my spring break. And that's some
Oh, that's right. That's
craziness
right. That's
planned.
right. That's right. You
I
going
got some
somewhere?
yes, I'm going to Vegas. One
The
of my
back way?
I don't know, I haven't decided yet.
Okay, okay, okay.
One of my colleagues is getting married, so we're going to our bachelorette party in Vegas. And then the next
That's
weekend,
got to
my
be
cousin
trouble.
is getting married in Arizona, so I have a trip down to there. Yeah, what
Vegas
happens in
trouble.
Vegas?
Vegas trouble.
No, I'm be good though.
Are you a Raider fan by chance?
No,
Come on now.
why would I want to do that?
Cause I need a picture of the Raider the building that they have out there. They're doing the big stadium out there, and I heard it's pretty amazing right off the freeway.
Oh,
Yeah. So you're
yeah,
not so much. Okay.
no.
But you're a Dallas fan?
I like my team. I'm not very happy with the owner.
Cowboys. It's all good though. It's all good. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Gym City. Make sure y'all get your little um, fireball action going on.
Oh,
Even though they ain't sponsoring us yet.
but
I talked to the
wait,
guy today. He was like, "We don't do sponsors, but if
but
you know somebody who owns a bar, maybe you can get it." I'm like, "Okay."
okay, but we have to. Is that the same person we had our shout out to, right?
No.
Oh,
This is
okay.
Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas.
Thomas,
Yeah,
thank
thank you
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you
the
for the gift,
for the gift, and
Thomas.
don't forget if you want to,
Greatly appreciate it.
yeah, if you want us to shout out something, think because you contributed to our
Yes,
um
thank you.
contributed to our
We'll school there.
delinquency, then we'll make it
Oh,
happen.
I'm not delinquent. You have to speak
Or
for yourself
That's
on
all
that
good.
one.
I'm about to be delinquent.
You're contributing to my uh therapy.
Therapy,
This is this is
spiritual success.
this is my therapy right now.
Oh,
It's
the headroom's good
it's
too. We're like
relaxing my
everything's
mind.
good. Got so many things going on.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
So what we
yes,
gonna
yes,
talk
yes,
about today?
yes.
Miss
Oh, we're
Angela
gonna talk about some of
Tally
everything.
gave us a thumbs up.
Hello there.
Appreciate it. It's all to the. Thank you. Thank
Hello.
you.
Welcome, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to start with introductions. I am Valcine Brown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Charles Street, aka Charlie Strizzle.
Strizzle.
The
A
Strizzle.
strizzle, my nizzle.
You already know though. Let's make this happen. Let's make it go.
And first, we want to ask that you subscribe. YouTube, clickety click
Yeah, all
click.
that stuff.
Thank you
Yeah, we
so
need it.
much.
Yes.
Trying to get on that
CC.
fire stick, fireball. I
Yeah,
see a lot of heat.
fire stick,
I see a
fireball,
lot of
but
heat
it's
in our
purple heat
future.
though.
Purple heat.
It's
Ooh,
that purple
purple heat.
passion.
Purple
Purple
heat
heat.
burns hot.
I thought the drink should be called Gym City Fireball. That we should figure out a way to put some violet, some purple into it, and make our own drink. I think Dante is good for
Hmm.
that. What do you think?
Hmm.
Make our own drink. We can have our own.
Well, I'd love to have our own
Okay,
drink.
all right, just checking.
I was trying to put my mind into how to make it purple.
Any of y'all know some purple drinks? I know they got purple panties, purple passion, purple.
Grape, a grape Kool-Aid. My homegirl, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Turned me on to that.
Grape
Ooh,
Kool-Aid.
it tastes just like grape Kool-Aid, but it's not for the kids.
That reminds me of the night train. You put the purple pack of Kool-Aid in the night train. You go choo choo.
Well, they used
That cheap wine.
99 berries,
Oh, okay.
the grape,
Okay.
and some other stuff.
I know that was that many berries exist. That's a lot of berries.
Just a whole lot of berries going on.
What's up, y'all? Let me get some sound effects going on in here. So, what's the good news for today? What we got going on?
Well,
Mhm.
today we are covering self-improvement,
Mhm.
movies, tech, politics, and music. I am on self-improvement, tech, and music. You are on movies and politics.
Movies and politics.
You are on movies and okay, this is a humdinger, folks.
Mm, mm, mm.
So, an article written
Humdinger.
by Alexa Diaz appeared in the Los Angeles Times titled More Than 80 Women Sue San Diego Hospital Alleging Secret Camera Recordings.
Ooh,
Right. But
ooh,
wait, there's more.
Purple Hooters.
Oh, Purple Hooters?
Yeah, Purple
Oh,
Hooters.
I don't think I
We got
had
we got
that.
we have to look that
We
one
need
up.
some recipes
I
with that
know.
stuff. Give us some
Yeah, what's
recipes.
the
We'll look
recipe
it
of that?
up.
I like that.
All right. So, snippet from the article. More than 80 women have filed a
I like that.
lawsuit
Lawsuit. That's like,
against Sharp Grossman Hospital in La Mesa, alleging they were secretly recorded while undergoing medical procedures in labor and delivery operating rooms.
that's foul.
Right?
They've got this law going on. I think it's somewhere in Saudi Arabia where if the people are found to be homosexual or something like that, or to do some sort of sexual act, whatever it is, they stone them to death. Which I
Mm.
think is sad. But if you repurpose that law and to face it toward people who do the peep and tom bullshit
This,
like that,
yes, right,
or mess with kids, we should be able to
right.
we should be able to stone child molesters.
I agree.
Just beat them. Just
My only concern is that there have been times
well, not the
where,
misconvictions. I know that's where you're
right, and
going.
see, once you
Not
do, but see, once you stone them, it's done.
well, yeah, because they're gonna look like that dude on Beirut. They're gonna look like Sarah Huxtable. I know they got lumps and all that. I know. I get it. I get it. But if they're convicted, this one dude was convicted of sexual messing with kids in our local area, Southern California. He got out, and then he was caught again trying to break into a little girl's home. And she was 12 years old. She called the cops.
Okay,
So he's
why did he
convicted.
get out? I want to know why he got out.
Well, if he did get out, he need the lumps.
Okay. Well, let me
Purple
finish.
Hooters.
Let
Okay,
me
my
finish
bad.
the
My
article.
bad.
Okay. So patients
Oh,
were filmed
mm-hmm.
without their consent in 3 private rooms from July 2012 to June 2013, according to the lawsuit filed last week in San Diego County Superior Courts. The women allege hidden cameras filmed approximately 1,800 patients undergoing medical procedures, including births, dilation, and curettage, to resolve miscarriages and hysterectomies. Quote from the lawsuit: there are images contained within the multitude of images of women undergoing operations of a very personal, private nature, unconscious and in state of exposure, depending on the operation being performed, the lawsuit alleges.
Yeah, that's sad.
I couldn't imagine knowing that here I am in at my most
Vulnerable.
vulnerable,
Now it's on the
and
internet.
someone is filming me.
Mm-hmm.
That's private.
Mm-hmm.
That my privates are private.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing life into the world.
Yeah, at some point you got
I'm
to say enough's
vulnerable.
enough. Yeah,
Ooh.
people like to be seen. People will, get their social media accounts all
Mm,
hyped up so you can see them. But the
mm.
people that don't want to be seen, it needs to remain that way. And if you take advantage of that, you should get whatever punishment it is.
Yes.
So
Yes.
those
I
wives
wonder
of
how
those,
they're going to find out who did the
well, one of the
cameras though.
husbands is going to be pissed off. I can tell you that
Oh,
right
I'm
now.
pretty sure all the husbands
If
is.
it's going to
One
be like,
his
if it's going to be
woman's
like,
goodies all out on the world for
yeah,
see.
yeah.
But see, the thing is, I wonder how they're going to find out who put the cameras, who's responsible for claiming the images. I mean, because I don't think the hospital did it,
Well, I
right?
mean, if you can't find who did it, someone needs to be responsible. So it
Well,
should be
it's going to
administration,
be
and it should
administration,
be
but
administration and security.
right, I
Security
agree.
should be right
But
there up
I
on the
want
list.
the person.
Of course,
I want
of
the
course,
person. But I
of
think
course.
that by going after the hospital, you force them
Everybody to
to
be
look for
accountable.
the person
Yep,
who did it because they
yep,
don't want
yep.
to have their reputation,
Hmm.
tarnished behind something someone else did.
Yeah, because then you can't go into the hospital feeling safe no more.
Right.
And if you just join us, we're talking about hidden cameras in hospital rooms.
Mm,
I guess
mm.
that was in the
Filming
news.
women
Filming women.
in labor and delivery,
Hmm.
having everything from being dilated to giving birth, hysterectomies.
Hmm.
Yep, 1,800 women.
Mm-mm.
That's
Boy,
too much.
it's like me three.
Huh.
Get
Mm.
it? Does the me two? Never mind. That's too much. Me
I
three
get
is
it.
one more.
I get
Okay.
it. Me three. I
Purple
get it.
Hooters.
Purple Hooters.
Speaking of film and stuff, maybe this guy should be caught and he should be forced to drink purple Hooters for the rest of his life. That's all he can
No,
drink.
Then you making him
Yeah.
feel good.
No, he ain't gonna feel
No,
good. You ain't gonna feel good. You drinking. That's the only thing you can drink for the rest of your life because you filmed
but you're gonna die of dehydration.
that. Give it
Oh,
to him.
or alcohol poisoning.
He deserves it. Either one. Purple Hooters. Pour the vodka, triple sec, raspberry liqueur into a cocktail shaker over ice. Cover and shake until outside of the shaker is frosted. Strain into a chilled martini glass and serve. Also, that's a
Okay,
martini
I
type
will
drink.
take it. Ooh,
Vodka,
I like
triple sec,
vodka. You know, I like
raspberry
vodka.
liqueur.
I like
We might have us a drink,
vodka.
Shishi. Thank you.
We should. And
I
that'll be
know.
nice. Okay, we need some General City martini glasses.
Oh, now we got to get the glasses on.
We need some Gem City martini glasses.
Gym
That
City
would be
Martini.
good.
Slurpy,
I'll be like,
slurpy.
then I'll be over here slurping.
That could be good.
Ooh,
That
it
could,
would be. I
it
like
sounds like
vodka.
something I would
Ooh,
drink for
it's
sure.
sweet
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Mm.
What's my topic?
You are. Oops. What is it?
Movies.
Yes, movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start it. I'll kick us off. So self improvement. Every once in a while, we rip the band aid off. We're gonna rip a band aid today.
Oh, Band-Aid ripping.
We're gonna rip the band aid today. But
Uh-oh.
that's all right. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Uh-oh.
So I found this article by James Clear. It's called How to Stop Lying to Ourselves, a call for self-awareness, the lies we tell ourselves. So he says we often lie to ourselves about the progress we are making on important goals. For example, if we want to lose weight, we might claim that we're eating healthy, but in reality, our eating habits haven't changed very much. If we want to be more creative, we might say we're trying to write more, but in reality, we aren't holding ourselves to a rigid publishing schedule. If we want to learn a new language, we might say to ourselves that we have been consistent with our practice, and even though we have skipped last night to watch TV. Or Mr. Clear, I should say, writes, we use lukewarm phrases like, I'm doing well with the time I have available, or I've been trying really hard recently. Rarely do these statements include any type of hard measurement. Why do these little lies matter? Because they are preventing us from self awareness. Emotions and feelings are important and they have a place. But when we use feel good statements to track our progress in life, we end up lying to ourselves and what we're really trying to do. Some tools he offers for self improvement. If you're serious about getting better at something, then one of the first steps is to know in black and white terms where you stand. You need self awareness before you can achieve self improvement. For instance, if you're trying to get healthy, get in shape, or lose some weight, he says keep a workout journal.
Mm.
Write down your exercise in a journal. He said he also does what he calls an annual review and an integrity report. At the end of each year, he conducts an annual review where he summarizes the progress that he's made in his goals, such as business, health, travel, or whatever areas he's working on. He says I also take time each spring to do an integrity report where I challenge myself to provide proof of how I am living by my core values. And he also recommends one more thing: rescue time, evaluating your productiveness. That's rough.
Well, because you have
That's
to
lying to
document it
yourself.
and you have to be responsible for it.
It's ownership. It's
Hmm.
ownership.
Yeah.
And it boils down to integrity. Because if you're not honest with yourself,
Then you lie to everybody else.
because
Period.
integrity is telling the truth when
But
no one else knows,
but you
right?
but you could lie and be president. Oop, did I that
Oh,
slipped out.
and you can talk about grabbing people by their boop.
Ooh. But it is everybody should be held accountable, and it's all good. You can point fingers all day, but at the same time, you
We
got to look in
gotta.
the mirror.
I'm
Hmm.
starting with the man
You
in the
got to,
mirror.
you got to for sure.
Yes, I really like this. It's
Hmm.
it can be painful because it means being honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Oh, I'm trying to do this, but are you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
So
that trying
yeah.
thing where they say, try to hand me this pen, and if you try to hand me the pen, you keep giving it back. You seen that?
No,
It's like okay, so there's your stylist. Now try to hand that to me.
I
Just
can't
try.
try. I'm just gonna give it to you.
Right there, you go. You said it right there. So take the word try to vocabulary.
Just
Do or do
do.
not.
Like Nike says, just do it.
Well, like Nike says, that's right.
Right?
Don't
Right.
try.
And what did Yoda say?
I don't know.
Do or do not. There is no try.
All right. Well, have a good time, Miss Shishi. Going out to get some jam and going out to got a jam,
Ooh.
some friends and some dining. Oh,
Oh,
good
all
night.
right.
Thursday
Have a
night
good
dining.
time.
That's right. Have a purple hooter for us. She said there were
Ooh.
shots. That's
Ooh.
even better. We can have
Oh.
like four of them. This right here. We can have some extras
Oh,
over
I don't
here. To
want
be,
people watching me take shots. I
that's
want
all good.
to. Okay, I need to figure out how to make mine into. Maybe if I add a little Sprite, I can make it into a drink.
Yeah, yeah. Just slow
Something
it
like
down.
that.
Slow it down a little bit before we be on
Yeah. I'd be
lean.
like,
You like Jordan Peele? You know who he is?
I do know who Jordan Peele.
Seems like a
He
good dude,
did
huh?
Keenan Peele. He's the Peele of Keenan Peele.
He's the one.
I love the
He's a
episode.
sleeper.
I like to play the episode for my kids where he's the substitute teacher. Have you seen that one?
Mm.
And he's mispronouncing people's name.
Oh, yeah.
Denise, he calls him Denise.
Yeah.
Aaron, he goes, Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Hey,
They killed
Ron.
it. They killed it with those. Those
Hilarious.
you can watch those over and over again and still get a gut wrenching laugh every time you see it because it's
Jake Quillen.
they did the same thing with the football and college football and they would make up these names.
Yes, I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw that one. Yeah,
Ezekiel
and they had people like
Gaddis
actually
from
in little
ACA
jerseys.
University.
I saw
Funny,
that one.
funny
I
shit.
did. I
Dudes
did.
are funny as hell.
Yes, indeed.
Jordan Peele, he's got that movie out called Us.
Oh, I haven't gone to see it. I don't.
I
I know
know.
it's more of a thriller than scary, but
Mm-hmm.
it's scary to me. My daughter wanted to go see it when she was home last week. We went
Mm-hmm.
to out to see movies,
Okay.
but I embarrassed myself in the theaters
Why you
because
get
I
to
screamed.
screaming
I'm
all
like,
out?
I don't mean to. I just and like I really jumped.
Like really loud,
Like
like the movie Scream, like
okay, not that
like
bad.
this one, like
No,
where the little speed bag in here is like that kind of scream.
it's not that bad. I'll
Okay,
just
all
be
right,
like,
okay, all right,
yeah, not that
okay,
bad.
okay.
Okay.
Accompanied by her husband, son, granddaughter, Adeline, Wilson returns to the beachfront home where she grew up as a child, haunted by a traumatic experience from the past. Adeline grows increasingly concerned about something bad is going to happen. Her worst fears soon become reality
Mm,
when four, count them, four masked strangers
mm,
descend upon the house, forcing the Wilsons into a fight of survival.
mm.
When the masks come off, the family is horrified to learn that each attacker takes an appearance of one of them. That boy's sick. And see,
Right.
that's that Dave Chappelle stuff where Dave Chappelle wrote that comedy skit where he was blind, but he was a Klansman,
Right. Ku Klux Klan.
and I think that got slept on too because a lot of people didn't really think about the genius I believe that it takes to write something like that and to
Mhm.
pull it off and to act the
Right.
part. Jordan
Right.
Peele is that Dave Chappelle
Mhm.
in this genre when he comes up with these twisted twisted plots that Hollywood tries to make happen, and Hollywood doesn't end it right because it's too glorified or too gimmicky. He
Mm.
hits you with you like, damn, that could be next door.
Right.
That's
I'm
what I'm talking
I'm
about. Jordan Peele.
my daughter wants I will wait. I do want to see it, but I need to wait until my daughter's already seen it
Okay, so we will get it. We will when
and
we
we'll watch it at
we'll
home.
watch it at home, and then I'll turn the system up, and then we can just be like, okay, you're invited over. We'll
Cuz
have
I'll
popcorn.
sit next to my daughter
Okay, bring your daughter.
and she'll tell me, "Okay, you might want to hide now," or
Oh, okay,
yeah.
she's gonna coach you through it.
She go, "Yeah, oh
I'm
yeah."
having so loud that you ain't gonna be, you know, with the screams, everything. It's all good.
Oh,
Has anybody
yeah.
seen that Us yet? I'd like to know, what you think about it. Don't tell us the ending just yet because we
Yeah,
ain't seen
don't
it.
tell us the ending,
But
but
it's all
have you
to the
seen it?
yeah, that's good. But more on that movie deal with Jordan Peele. Um, some of the other movies that he's directed.
Mm.
See if I can find some of his
Ooh,
shows.
is that
Yeah,
name Get Out?
yeah, he did Get Out. Did you see that one?
I did see Get
Wasn't
Out.
that crazy?
I really
Did that not
enjoyed
break
that.
the stereotype,
Being
Hollywood
black is
stereotype?
in.
She said being black.
Being black always being. You
It
just
always
wasn't
been it,
in the know.
right?
Right? It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
crazy. And the
yeah.
fact that the daughter would lure these boyfriends home to snatch bodies, so to speak. It was like a modern body snatcher.
Yeah, and he pulled it off in
The
ways
T.
that
T.
every way, every part through the movie, you thought you knew the ending because it was the typical
A
Hollywood,
lot of
and
surprises.
he would step right over that. But but step right over it in a meaningful way instead of stepping right over it just to do something different. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was weird. He stepped right over it. It was like, damn, think
Mm.
about it this way. Then he would step over here. It's almost like Quentin Tarantino, where Quentin Tarantino writes what they call a
Mm-hmm.
segregated timeline. So you
Mm-hmm.
have from start to finish in a movie,
Mm-hmm.
you chop it up, and then
Right.
like Full Carmani, you switch up the
Yeah.
pieces. So you
You
always
reorder the timeline. So you have
right.
flashbacks,
Jordan Peele,
flash
y'all.
forwards.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't mean to be jockeying like that, but
Yeah.
dude, man, what's up, Unc? I see you in the
So
house.
what else we have? You are
Robert
watching
Street.
my TV.
Yeah, he's done. He's gonna be doing Toy Story 4. He's gonna be doing a character
What?
in there. He's done something on Black Klansman. I don't know what he did. He
Oh,
was
you
on Mad
excited?
TV,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
Big Mouth. I never seen that. I know he's got
Mm-mm.
cartoons. Key and Peele, Twilight Zone. I haven't seen yet because
Not yet, really.
CBS
Okay.
wants to charge everybody, and,
Mm.
and you know what I'm saying. They always trying to get their little 2 cents. I might have to just get over it because they got another show I watch, Star Trek. They got Jordan Peele on there, and they may have one or two
I
other
watched
shows I
SWAT.
watch.
Okay,
You watch
here's the
SWAT?
crazy thing. Yes, here's the crazy thing. When I was a little kid, my mother loved watching cop dramas. And I was like, it's boring. When are we gonna watch something else?
Well, now
Now what
you
am I watch?
program.
I am my mother.
I can see your mom.
I'm a
She's like,
mom.
Mom, I don't like one Adam 12.
And now what am I watching? She used to watch,
You're watching two Adam
so she
12s.
used to watch Magnum PI, which of course had Tom Selleck. And then what I turn around and watch? Blue Blood. With who's on it? Tom Selleck. Crazy, right?
She programmed you.
Yes, she did. I didn't realize it now. But
You
yeah,
gonna
so
watch
they
these.
have SWAT. They have SWAT. I watched that with Shamar Moore. He fine.
Okay.
He
If you say
fine.
so. It is what it
Mm,
is.
mm. Yes.
So is that it on Jordan Peele, Mr. Peele? What you got? Or do I got more
Okay.
movies? No, I
It's
think
up to
that's
you.
it.
We good?
We
All
good.
right.
Mhm.
Tech, 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 tech. Okay.
All right.
I
You got
got
some
a new
sound effects for
one.
tech?
So Beats is coming out with new Power Beats Pro, which are AirPods, but with a longer battery
Game
life and a better
over.
fit. So this is from an article on TheVerge.com written by Chris Welch. He says that these new Power Beats Pro offer a longer battery life. They seal fully in your ears without letting in outside noise. They include the same Apple H1 chip as the latest AirPods for hands-free Hey Siri voice commands. And yes, to my ears, the Power Beats Pro sounded better during my brief introduction to them. And they come out in May and will be selling for 250 smackaroos.
Beats?
Beats,
250?
AirPods. Not air. Yeah, I guess they're well, okay. Wireless. Let's call it wireless in your ear thingamajiggy boo bobbies.
Oh no, I'm not doing the wireless because you can't get your full dynamic sound and the cancellation.
But see, according to these,
No,
they nestle into
no.
your. But I don't know. When Beats put their name on something and they say it do something, I'm convinced it
Not
does it.
me. Have
Really?
you went and tried them?
No, they don't
It's
come
it,
out till May.
but I'm saying, have you tried the Beats at all? I went
My
to Home Depot.
daughters.
Okay. I can say Home Depot, but it was actually
Whoa, they had Beats at Home Depot.
Home. What's the other home? The blue one.
Best Buy.
Best Buy. There you go. Home. Best Buy Home. True Detective.
The best. Oh,
Yeah,
you
Uncle
like that
mentioned.
show?
Yeah, he mentioned True Detective that
Is
I've
that
never
on
seen.
CBS?
It probably is. It's with the new cat
Or
that's came up in the past Academy
oh,
Awards and stuff.
oh, oh,
What's his
oh,
name?
oh.
It's got Colin Farrell, Vince
Uh-huh.
Vaughn. I like Vince
Oh,
Vaughn.
I like
Rachel
Vince Vaughn.
McAdams, Taylor Kitsch. I don't know who that is. True
Oh,
Detective. I haven't seen
okay.
it yet.
Well,
I'll have to check it
apparently
out.
it's got a. Oh, it's actually
HBO.
on HBO.
hmm
It's on HBO.
Matthew McConaughey's
Oh,
executive producer and Woody
what?
Harrelson.
Matthew McConaughey is pretty
Yeah, I don't know.
good.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
That,
so that's. I
I'm
guess
not a
that's
big
a.
Matthew
I
McConaughey
guess
fan,
that's a
but
response to our talk about my mom
yeah,
loving those
bouncing
cop
back and forth, bouncing
cop
back and forth.
documentary. I'm telling you now, I'm all over it. I'm all over it, man.
I haven't watched secular TV though, so we just watch like 4 or 5 different shows, and it's most likely political comedy. You know,
Mm.
the Trevor Noah, the
I
Bill
love Trevor
Maher,
Noah too.
and John Oliver is typically that's our triangle, and then time to go to bed, get ready for work.
Well, I'm behind on my shows. Don't get me
You gotta get
wrong.
caught up.
But that's the wonderful thing about
Mm.
having my Fire Stick. It's there when I'm ready to watch it.
Can't wait till we be on Fire Stick.
Fire Stick.
So Beats Pro, you think Beats Pro the best headphones that I've ever owned?
Power
And
Beats
I
Pro.
keep them. Y'all can see I keep them.
Yeah, you got
I'm
some.
gonna show you the brand because that's the brand right there. See that right there? Nope, because it's blurry.
Well,
Sennheisers.
I also don't read backwards.
Is it in
When you
backwards?
put it on there, it shows up to me as
Is it
backwards. I don't know.
Sennheisers?
Oh,
Because
really?
it depends on what you want to listen, how you want to listen to it. Like if you want
Mm.
to listen to it from a production standpoint, you want your highs and your lows and your mids and all that to be balanced and stuff. You need an experience over your ear so that your ear can process it. But if you just got something
Hmm.
shoved into the hole of your
Well,
ear,
I don't
you get a
know.
different experience. If
I
Bose
don't
can't
know.
do it, Beats can't do
Well, I don't know.
it. I'm
I'm
not
not
hating
gonna.
on Dre.
I'm gonna have
I'm
to
not
see it.
hating on his
But wait a
beats,
minute. Did you?
but
You said
I
you?
do want to listen to the Buds. How about
Did
that?
you say that you've tried Beats before?
I went to
Best
the
Buy.
home
Now we're
Best
there.
Buy,
Home Best Buy.
the home Best Buy,
Your home is your Best Buy.
and I
I'm
had
gonna
my
say that.
Sennheisers with me because that's how I go. I go gangster. I went in with my Sennheisers back when they was new, and you pull their little deal out, listen to it because a lot of that stuff is positioned in a way to make the headphones or the speakers or whatever it is you're listening to sound good. It's called benchmarking. But anyway, I picked up the Dre's and I put them on. They were stiff around the ear for me. First of all, they were stiff. They were too small for the ear, so they push your ear back. And I'm just like, okay, if you're touching any part of your ear, it's going to change your sound. If you don't believe me, you can talk and touch your ear and
Right.
watch how your sound changes. So if your ear is not fully, covered
Covered.
in a
Right.
circle correctly, you're not going to get the sounds right. That's
Okay.
my experience.
All
I could
right.
be wrong. I'm not an engineer. I'm just
Okay.
saying, with regard to the headphones that are out, they're made for the kids because the kids
Oh.
just want that the boom and the hi hat,
Okay.
and they're good sound fill in, and it's all different because everything's compressed. But you try to listen to some old, some George Clinton or something where a band's
Mm.
involved, some Earth, Wind
Mhm.
and Fire, something like that,
Mm.
you won't get that full
You'll.
dynamic sound. You need
Okay.
something over your ear. So it's all by choice.
Hmm.
And I will
Interesting.
go around with my studios, which is a different style
Uh
of
huh.
headset more than the earbuds. When I see grown men with them two dots in their ears and the things hanging down like that, I'm like, dog, that don't even look right. I'm like, I don't care how
Mm.
they sound, dude. You gotta have something that sounds real nice and and I just believe that earbuds in the whole just will probably take the sound up too much.
Oh.
Yeah. Which do you
Okay.
prefer?
Well, I don't like the whole things over my hair. It's too much. Like I mostly use mine if I'm doing some gardening or if I'm out. I'm at the gym or something like that. That's just too much.
Well, of course. If you're being active, yeah. Yeah. But if you're trying to get some sound in your
Yeah.
ear, get them
Yeah. My
Sennheisers.
daughter has the Beats wireless that go in the ear and has a little part that hooks over. She has the Beats that they're wireless too, but they go over the head like ear muffs. And she has AirPods. Yeah, the AirPods in the ear things. So yeah, she's spoiled. Her daddy spoils her.
Mm.
Her daddy spoils her, let me
That's all
tell you.
good. Nothing wrong. That's what dad's
I know
supposed to do.
that's what daddy's supposed to
What we
do,
doing?
right?
Politics now?
Politics. Politics.
Mm.
Politics. What's up with the
Politics.
politics?
I don't even know what's going on in politics today. I try not to watch politics.
Mm.
I try to stay out of it.
Well, we can't stay out of it.
Mm.
We can't stay out of it.
Electoral
How we gonna
electoral
be
college.
informed? Oh, I'll do away with it.
Can we start a petition just to do away with electoral college? Can we
How
start a
how
petition to deal away with gerrymandering? Can we
oh
can we start
please.
petitions to start having all these little fake um hurdles put in place so that we can really have a system that worked like it was supposed to be?
Right. The democratic system
Is the
as it was
system that we
designed to
have that was
be.
designed back in the 1700s the system that should be um, basically not amended or not fixed for us today? As technologically advanced as we are, should we
Mhm.
be living on a system that's so antiquated?
I agree. I think it is too antiquated. And I don't really like the electoral college. I believe the popular vote should be the same way we elect president. Everything else is popular vote. When we decide whether or not we're going to have a new tax, it's popular vote. When we decide whether or not you can smoke marijuana in California, it was popular vote. So I don't know why they're sticking with the electoral college. Well, okay, I'm sorry, let me take that back. I know why they
Oh,
sticking
okay.
with
I'm
it.
just saying,
I know why
I
they
can
sticking
explain. I
with
got
it
the answer for that.
so that they get the final say
Hmm.
so.
Hmm.
And I'm not with that.
Hmm. Yeah, I heard someone ask about like the politics and stuff being controlled by the government, in a sense that excuse me, commercials being controlled, or
Mm.
news more specifically. Let me get this right.
It's all fake news.
Yeah, being controlled by the government, and it was Noam Chomsky. Have you ever heard that name before? Oh
Mm-mm.
yeah, he's a professor at MIT. Basically, cut the dude in half, saying that the news is not controlled by the politics. The news is controlled. I don't know if you know this because I had to learn it. The news is controlled by the corporation.
By which corporation?
Every corporation,
But
whoever has the most money, corporation.
the whole idea is
Hmm.
that if corporations are opposing one another,
Hmm.
so basically you're saying the corporation with the most money is
Hmm.
controlling the spin of the news.
Skippy. And then what happens with
Mm.
that is then the politicians go in and take out of that pot, and that's who they endorse because the corporations are giving them the money. And that's how the
Mm.
system really works. If you want to dive into it, it's not like we think. Oh, you have a mayor or you have an elected official, and they represent you, and they going up there and they
No, no, no.
spend.
I don't think that
Well, that's what we're
to a certain
told.
extent.
That's
Well,
what
to
we're
a
told.
I believe that there are some salmon who are going against the stream.
Mm.
I believe that, but I think for the most part we understand that politicians are being swayed by lobbyists, and the
Hmm.
lobbyists are representing these corporate multi-million these corporations, and they're getting the politician to enact laws that have been essentially bought through lobbyists
Hmm.
that benefit the corporations and not the general population.
It's not supposed to. They have this spiel about this is what I'm going to do for you guys when I get in office, and you got to do your fingers like that. I might start running because I got that part down pat. Do this. Say when I get
Because
in
you don't want to
office,
point.
and you got to
You
use
don't want to
you got to
point, but you
it's
need
keyboard.
to
It's right.
emphasize.
It's like secular music. All you need in hip hop is to say a couple poppy champagnes and a couple jewelry and a couple
And a
benzos
and a beat.
and a beat.
And a beat.
It's the same with politics. You got to do this, and you got to say the American people, and you got to
And you
say,
got to look into the camera. And you have to
man,
not crack a smile while you do it. You need to look sincere.
Big Joe, Big Harp said, "Dirty Joe and AOC, Trump. Come on, it's all a mess. No popular vote. So you only want Texas, Canada, New York, and
That's not
Florida.
Canada. That's California.
My bad. I'm tripping on that one. Texas, California, it's that sip. I need another sip. Texas, California, New York, and Florida to decide the election.
So
No,
are you thinking that only those four states really get to control because of the mass population that are centered
yeah,
around
you
there?
have to explain that a little more because I understand a little bit enough. I'm not into politics enough to know why Texas, California, New York, and Florida would control, other than something called flip states, where they're on the verge of being either or, depending on how they get to the majority swayed. But he also made a comment on the Green Deal. Any thoughts on AOC's Green Deal? You know anything about the Green
I
Deal?
do not. What is that? Let me
Yeah,
search.
that's her ability. She's got this. She's got the. Let's look it up so we can be
On the same page,
on the same page.
literally.
Yeah, but she's got this movement. The Green Deal is a proposed
Oh,
stimulus
Alexandra. Oh, I like them.
program
Okay.
that aims to address climate change and economic inequality. The name refers to the New Deal, a set of social and economic reforms and public work projects undertaken by President Roosevelt in
Hmm.
response to the Great Depression. So
Okay. So she's
she's trying to get it started up.
alluding to the New Deal by calling it the Green New Deal. All
Hmm.
right. And what is her purpose?
It aims to address climate change and economic equality. So basically, I
I like
guess
it.
I guess people that are against it would say this is more leaning towards socialism, if you will.
You
And
think?
well, because some of the things that she wants is for people to get a certain allotment per month for the government.
Well, we were talking about that with the
Mhm.
same.
Yeah.
Well, I have no problem with that. And I think you and I were talking about that. I have no problem with people who are, first of all, the poverty level is a joke. When people say they're living below poverty, we have to understand what that poverty level is. The poverty level is considered to be like $14,000 for like two people. How are two people living on $14,000? How are you call? So if I make 15,000, I'm above the poverty level. That's a joke. So I think that needs to be revisited. And I think once we have a poverty level that is really true and accurate based upon the various costs of living in the area where those people live, then I am totally with helping those people that are below that level. Because if we don't invest into people who do not have,
Yeah.
we're basically weeding out the middle class as it is now. We have a whole lot of have-nots, a whole lot of I have way too much, and we're the middle class is shrinking as we know
Well, they
it.
teach you that in the military. You're only as good as your weakest man, and that's the way it should be in
That's a
in
good
in
point.
in the civil community as well. You're only as good as your weakest man. I know that I've heard about the Jewish population, and that somebody mentioned to me that was Jewish, that you rarely see Jewish people that are homeless, unless it's something like some sort of mental disorder or something like that.
Right,
But you
because
never,
they take care of their
because they
own.
come down and they swoop down and they scoop them up.
Yes,
You see what I'm saying?
because they don't want they refuse to see their people ignored and abandoned.
Now, I like the fact that they do that. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's done for just that religion, culture, or belief. I get
Mhm.
why it's done, because you can't do people that don't believe in your system. Otherwise, they're just going
Mhm.
to poop on your system and make it back. But I just believe we should have a system that makes it so that way nobody is having to steal, you know what I'm saying, or
Right.
fight and kill for
Right.
survival. And that seems like what it's
Right.
going to be.
Right.
But it was,
And I think some of our legal laws, our laws need to be revisited
of course,
because we have a system that encapsulates somebody once they've been to jail. We say, "Oh, you're reformed, we let you out now," but we've put so many roadblocks for you, we've actually pushed you back into a
that's
life of
designed
crime.
that way. It's designed that way. It
Yes,
needs to be
it's a
restructured.
it has a
Hmm.
revolving door system. So yeah, absolutely. So I'm all for getting us some.
Y'all for the green?
Yes.
ALC green?
Well, I didn't say I'm all for the AOC green. What I was going to say
The
is
new green deal.
I can't even say I'm completely for that because I haven't read it. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is I do agree that climate change and social justice or economic justice needs to be revisited.
Do you think climate change was here? Now, I want to get back to this, but it was mentioned that population in the four states would dominate the vote. So mass population in those states
Oh, I
would control
disagree.
it. And that's why, well, when you think about it, it makes sense, because that's why gerrymandering is set up. So that way this state is broken up. There's a million people here, and then over the border, there's two people. And so they won't have.
But the electoral vote is what makes that system means certain states are controlling. But if you have a general vote where everybody's counts equally, it doesn't matter if 50% of the population is in California and the other 50% is spread out the other 49 states. Your vote counts and my vote
Well,
counts.
it does though, because like let's say for instance, Montana, which I don't know the population, I can probably Google it, but compared to New York, California, if we all have equal power to vote,
Hmm.
what if we want something with our highways and they're like,
No,
well,
no,
we
no,
don't.
no. I'm talking about just for president. Just for president. Getting rid of the electoral college for
Oh,
president.
for
Just
presidency.
for president.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think
You're
that
talking about
what
okay, okay.
right. I'm not talking
The
general laws
senators.
like no,
Okay,
no, no.
okay,
I'm not
okay, okay.
talking that
Got it, got it.
because even the senators we elect by general vote.
Okay.
I'm saying just the electoral college, which is only controlling who gets president. That's the only thing electoral college is ever used for. If we get rid of the electoral college, then we get away from the fact that California is a swing state because we carry more electoral votes than all the other states.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The Electoral College consists of 538 electors. A majority of 270 electoral votes is required to elect the president. President, actually.
Hmm.
Your state's entitled allotment of electors equal to the number of members in its congressional delegation, one for each member in the House of Representatives, plus two for your senators.
Exactly. And we're a swing state because we have more senators. So
Yeah,
like if you yeah, so we're a swing state. Florida is one of those uh huge swing states. Ohio is one of those huge
right,
swing
right,
states.
right.
So if we did general vote instead of electoral, which is like I said, electoral college is only used for presidents.
Do you think felons should be able to get out and vote now? Because I know that was something that
Yes,
they overturned in Florida, and now they're supposed to be able to get out
I think they
and
should.
yeah, felons.
If we think that you are rehabilitated enough to be out among the general population, why should we dehumanize you and tell you, okay, you can go work, you can pay taxes, but now you can't decide how your tax money is spent?
Yeah, that's good comments. Very good comments. But you're right. I do know that part of the electoral college and the gerrymandering is just set up so that way the the politicians can finagle it any way they want, because it's like, okay, look, we understood that the popular vote was X, but we're going to choose Z because we have more whatever experience, education, or we have more
Mhm.
insight as to what needs to be done.
Mhm.
That's bullshit. That's
Mhm.
straight up, because what they're saying is we got you guys up to the point where we don't, it's not going to benefit us.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And is there mentally, is there really any reward in a real, in other words, I guess, in a real society? Do you feel that if they were honest politicians and did what they said and was ousted if they didn't, would that be a good society for us? Would it be too
Mm.
much for us to handle? Would it be too honest or too pure of a society? Will we all turn
I
into
don't think so.
snitches? Would it be where's Andy Griffin from? Would it be
Mhm.
Mayberry? Would it, you know what I'm saying? Would it be too false of a society if everything was handled from a point of reality? Because what's happening now is the reality is changing the narrative, so that way you can lie as much as you want, and we know it's a lie, but it's okay.
Mhm.
Get on to the next one, and that's a horrible place to be in.
Well, I'm actually reading right now Long Walk to Freedom, which is Nelson Mandela's biography. And I think I'm in chapter 9, so I'm very early in the book, around page 70, page 80. And one of the things he's talking about is how apartheid was allowed to grow beyond, expand into politics. And one of the things he talks about is how people would be elected and they would pass laws that appear to do one thing, telling you this law is doing X, Y, and Z, but it's not doing X, Y, and Z. It's doing S, T, and U. And because those officials were allowed to get away with that and pass laws, and they completely were doing away with democracy, apartheid was able to continue, and subsequently he ended up going to jail for 26, 27 years, right? For standing up against it. It was to the point where they would do things like, you can't have a strike if you're striking for political reasons.
Mm,
Not even a peaceful protest. You can't gather in crowds of more than 50 people if you are complaining about one of these 6 laws that we've just passed to subdue you. So I think, going with what you're saying, is yes, when people get into office and they say, you've elected me to do X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do S, T, and U. We need to be able to get rid of them, because why are they there if
mm,
not to do what they said
mm.
they were going to
And
do?
represent us.
It's like, if I get married to somebody, say, okay, we've had these conversations about what our marriage is going to be like.
And then they
We
switched up.
get married and be like, all that stuff I said I was going to do,
Hmm.
I didn't change my
It's
mind.
called the okey doke.
But you can't. It's called the okie
It's called the
doke.
okey doke. And
But
it's
you
it's a
can't
it's
you
a
can't leave.
it
Really?
yeah, you stuck. It's a
Watch
it's a
me.
fox in the hen house.
Mhm. So no, and I think until we start holding people accountable for
That's
doing
that's
what
the
they
deal.
say
Is
they're
that's
going
the
to
deal is
do.
because we as individual society don't know how to hold those people accountable. We have a 25 cents approach as to what we can do. Call your
Mhm.
congressman, fill out these papers. But that's why we have these elected officials, so they can represent us and tell us this is what you need to do. Like Bernie Sanders says,
Mhm.
Michael Moore says, in order to, have yourself represented,
Mhm.
come together, be here, do this and do that. But I did want to mention on the electoral college again is the first reason the founders created the electoral college is basically, they say it's hard to understand, and I've heard that it's kind of hard to explain, but the founding fathers were afraid of direct election to the presidency. They feared a tyrant could manipulate public opinion to come into power. Now you can get crickets on that. I ain't got the cricket sound because he's already
Wait,
there.
wait,
We need
you got a sound I want. Turn this thing on.
to turn it on
You got a sound I
because
want.
he's already there right now. There's a fox in the hen house, and the people that are there that elected to respect us can't even get him out.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, it's all good. He got that's good. That's good. He's in there. So I get it, and I don't want to turn this into a Trump hate show or anything like that. You know,
I don't hate them because that's too much energy to expend
yeah,
on somebody.
but I would
But
just say
I'm very
anybody there,
displeased.
anybody in any kind of office or any kind of situation of power,
Hmm.
looking to create discord amongst the community and people that are out, just doing their everyday. Get him out of there. I forget everything that he said, he stand for, and he's done. None of that. I'm not even worried about that because that's a whole years worth of conversation. But the
Yeah,
point of the
well,
matter that
mm,
he is not bringing the community together. So I don't care what
yeah.
he's doing.
But I know you said forget all the other stuff, but there's one thing I can't. Well, there's two things actually that I can't forget. One is, you're talking about sowing the divide. That is so huge for me. America. What does the Statue of Liberty stand for? What does it say?
It's
Send us,
different now, though.
but it should not be. It should not be. We have countries that are around us where Mexico, they don't have free education. So if you have a child and you can't afford to pay for that child to go to school, you are sentencing your child to a life of poverty.
They don't have free education in Mexico,
No.
so you got to pay to go to school,
Yes,
regular school,
regular school.
or teach your kid at home.
But if you don't
Is
have an
that bad though?
education, how are you going to do that?
I get it, but
So it's like poverty begets poverty begets poverty. How do you break a cycle of poverty if you aren't given education?
well, thank God, we weren't born in that situation. But I would like
Exactly.
to think,
But my compassion
right,
as a human
to fight
being,
out, fight your way out of that bubble.
because let me put myself in that person's
Sure.
shoes. If I had 3 children that I could not send to school, and I know that if I don't change my circumstances to better them, that they are sentenced, my grandchildren, then my great grandchildren are sentenced to the same life of poverty, I, as a mother, would do whatever I had to change that.
Yeah, but wouldn't you not have kids in the first place, though?
Okay, but
Right? That's
okay,
what I'd be thinking. I
okay.
wouldn't even have kids in the first
So
place
then,
if I
so
if I
now
felt that
we
I didn't
just
have an
so
opportunity for them to.
so then all the poor people stop having kids. Then what happens? Somebody's gonna always be poor.
Well, I'm saying there's got to be a tail end to that ability for them not to afford. So it'd be the bottom rung of the people just making it over to be able to pay that would have the kids, and they say, okay, what it is. I'm not saying don't have kids if
Well,
if
Mike said, if you don't have a baby, if you can't feed the baby,
there
but
it is. I mean
yeah,
that's a
I
choice. That's
know.
a choice.
Yeah.
That's a choice. Not like a Kanye choice, but that's a real
Okay.
choice.
So
Kanye
then,
choices are different.
what life are you living? Are you saying, okay, now I can't get married because getting married means I might get pregnant, I might have kids, or I can't have sex because that might mean getting pregnant. It might mean what? So that situation, and if you can't afford condoms, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Like I said, it
Okay,
gets thick.
that is
It
thick.
gets
Okay,
thick
we're gonna leave
because
that one. We're gonna leave that one. We're gonna
okay,
leave that one. Go to
okay,
another one. I
okay.
got
Because it
another one
looks
for
like
you.
we got some more question about the popular vote. You count if it's a popular vote. That's Arizona. So going back to the other comment.
Yeah, everyone counts if it's a popular vote.
Let's see. Let's see. I guess the comment was, where was it at? Of course they do count in Arizona. Says you don't count. Harvey said that was Robert. Harvey says you don't count if it's a popular vote, and he says I do. And then we scroll on down. Let me see what this is going on right here. Not a popular vote. One person, one vote. I'd like to know what that conversation is about. But California and
Yeah,
New York have the largest population,
that is true.
and they are 70% liberal. So if you're not liberal, he's saying, Harvey is saying to Robert, and I don't know, but in that case, yours, mine wouldn't matter. So if
Yeah,
you're
but
not,
that's just saying that's like saying if you're in California, you're automatically liberal. Okay, if you're in California, you're liberal, and you pack up and you move to Montana, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change your views. You're still liberal. You're going to vote
well,
liberal regardless of where you
kinda,
are.
kinda. Because when
And
you
birds
move,
of a feather tend to flock
sure,
together.
that's my other point. Because you kind of tend to change depending on what's going on. I mean, if you're driving
Not
and you're living in a city
necessarily.
environment, LA, and then like you said, you're a certain way liberal, whatever, and then you move to Montana where everything is country, you kind of have to say certain things are going to be different. From, I guess, from a techie to a farmer, your views are going to change if you're the same person.
Not
Your
necessarily.
your
Because I had
principles may not change, but your views kind of have to change, right?
no,
The weather
no.
changes.
Just because the
people
weather's
around you
changed doesn't
changes.
mean that changes your view. Okay, I'll give you an example.
Well,
I
climate
have two
change and stuff like
friends.
that may not affect people in certain areas and stuff like that as much as it does in areas where you've got beachfront property and now the ocean's starting to
Mm,
rise. Right, you're going to care more about the ocean rising if you live in Malibu than
right.
you do in
Okay.
Montana.
Right. But okay, yes and no. But yes, I agree with that. But when we recognize that anthropomorphic climate change is actually
Big
the
word,
term anthropomorphic, it means
big word.
man-induced climate change.
Anthropomorphic. Okay.
Anthropomorphic means man-induced climate change.
Okay.
So the whole idea that this man-induced climate change, it still affects everybody. It just affects everybody differently. So if I'm living in Texas and I don't live on the beach, yeah, the rising tides in Florida and in California aren't going to affect me. But guess what? Now I'm getting these holy schmoly tornadoes that are coming in.
Sure. More
So,
bugs.
right.
You're not getting your strawberries.
Things are different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it will affect everybody differently.
Mhm.
And so the manifestation of the problem is different, but the problem itself is the same.
But don't you think climate change, and we got kind of off subject. I know they're
I
talking
know,
about still
right?
the popular vote, but we keep diving to this climate change thing. Don't you think climate change was here already before?
Not anthropomorphic climate
Not
change. No.
anthropomorphic because that's man made, but it was here before because how did the Grand Canyons get there? They were
Well,
underwater at one time.
I agree that there's a natural
Sure.
change called evolution.
Sure.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But when man himself starts to do things to speed up change
Mhm.
at a rate that
Mhm.
is unnatural,
Yeah.
and you don't get time to shift, to, then that's where it
Mother
becomes.
Nature is going to respond to it.
I mean, we have all these glaciers that
Mm.
are melting,
Mm.
glaciers that have been frozen for thousands and thousands of
That's a little
years.
hard for me to believe. And again, I know the scientists have a way of doing that. I personally believe that the glaciers maybe were here in Southern
Hmm.
California because there's a lot of seashells and stuff in the mountains. And then
Hmm.
maybe the North Pole was
Hmm.
barren desert and it
Well, I
just
think
shifted.
well
It
that
could have
also
been.
depends on your biblical views. I believe there really was a flood, so I believe
Okay.
that's how the shells got here. But okay, I'm just saying. I don't think that's how the shells got here.
The flood. Oh, I don't want to get into that conversation.
Okay, but okay, we're gonna go. But
Okay.
okay, but there was one other thing that I had to say that I couldn't let go about Trump: sexual harassment. I recently had to have a student moved out of my class for sexually harassing me. So once, I mean, you hear about sexual harassment, you get an idea of what you think it is. But when it happens to you and you have to call a spade, and wow, I've just been sexually harassed,
Mm.
and your mind grapples with that, it gives you a new understanding
Mm.
for what people have gone to. So that whole, well, I just walk up to them and I just grab them by the,
Yeah.
that before I thought it was vile, I thought it was disgusting in and of itself. But when you've been sexually harassed,
Mhm.
it takes on a new pungent
Mm.
odor.
Mm.
So yeah, I can't let that one go.
So would you agree that the gentleman who, the teacher, about 6 months ago, who fought his student, who disrespected him, and I guess a student threw a basketball at him and called him a racist name, and he got up and whopped him upside the head a couple of times. Do you think that's appropriate for a teacher to do
No,
under that circumstances?
no.
So in your
He threw a
situation,
basketball at him. You catch a basketball, or even if it hits you in the head.
sometimes you catch it right in the nose on the bunker.
Okay,
Basketball
okay.
heavy.
There's a difference between an immediate threat and a threat that's gone. He threw a basketball at you. If that was the end of it, the threat is gone. Now, if he's coming up on you and he's swinging, that's an immediate threat.
No, the threat's not gone because if somebody throws a basket, somebody spits on you.
That's assault.
Okay, somebody throws a basketball at you and hits you in the nose, bonk, and you're like, okay, now you're in front of your whole class with 32 kids looking at you.
But unless they're about to harm you again, they are still not an immediate threat. The threat is gone.
Well, that just, hey, now we know why I can't be a teacher.
I'm just saying.
Because I would bada bing, bada bang.
Yeah, and you
Bada bing,
well,
bada bang.
yeah, but
you can't just because
I'm
once the
not.
basketball was thrown and it
It was
disrespected
assault.
him, the guy who threw the basketball at the teacher,
He assaulted his teacher.
but he set a precedence for all the other kids to
I
see.
agree.
You don't have to
But
respect this guy anymore. Respect is
yeah,
huge in
but
American culture.
I agree. However, once then the student is punished, if punished properly, that also sends a message.
So you got to wait and see. Oh, let me go and
No,
fill
I'm
out the
not.
paperwork. And
No,
okay,
it shouldn't.
you're
It
right.
shouldn't be that
You
way.
know you're right. I know you're right. But I'm
Right.
saying I'm
It's
wrong.
it's hard.
But you gonna get
It's hard.
you gonna get
It's hard
okay.
because as me as a teacher, when certain comments are being made, if we were on the street, I would have punched him in the face.
Right.
But we weren't on the street. We were in the classroom. And so I had to lay my priorities out and I had to choose how I wanted to deal with it.
Name another system that the majority doesn't rule.
I think we all can agree that majority always rules
Mm.
because especially if you're going with the general vote, that's what it is. The majority gets what they voted
So does the
for.
majority rule in America?
The majority who votes. I think another
Good
problem
question.
is that a lot of people don't vote and or can't or can't.
I don't think the majority rule.
You don't.
No. I think
Okay.
this system is set up just like the lady who
Oh, okay.
ran for office in Georgia, and the guy who was supposed to count all the votes was running too, and mysteriously her votes got mixed up, or she got some Chads mixed up, like they did in Florida. I know they weren't Chads,
Right,
but you
but
know what I'm saying.
that's deliberately tampering.
Okay, so my point is the majority doesn't rule, then does it?
Okay. Then
Mm,
let's revise that to say the
okay,
majority does rule
supposedly
when
it's done correctly.
when done correctly, the majority will rule.
So everybody,
I agree.
so
I
does
agree with
everybody
that.
agree that the majority should rule, or does everybody
Yes.
agree that
That's
certain
what
people,
democracy is.
have our wherewithal to be able to say, you know what, I know what the American people want, so
That's
they can make their call.
dictatorship.
That's dictatorship. That's people living under a crazy.
Yeah.
They have the largest population, so they'd have the biggest influence if you don't have an electoral college. Nope, the electoral college, in my opinion, again, whether I know some people argue to have it, it should be. I think gerrymandering, if I understand it correctly, would be able to resolve that issue because it's changed so much to fit their profile anyway of how they want to win. So it's like, okay, we didn't get enough people over in this district, so we're just going to draw the circle around them, include them next time. So that's the way of doing it. But the electoral college, to me, the way I've seen it described or seen it work, is that if a majority rules and we're like, we all want, you know, pizza tonight. Somebody come in with the
I don't think
electoral
you should have
college
the pizza.
says,
I'm
yeah,
deciding we're having
we're gonna
hamburger.
change it.
Hamburger.
That's not cool. That's
You're
not
eating
that make
hamburger.
yeah, we're taught to think of on our own, a lot when you're young. So how can you how I shouldn't say how can you believe. It's hard for me to understand how the electoral college could benefit us as a community. That's my statement.
And if we want to go with what Harvey is saying, the
Hmm.
electoral college is actually allowing what you're talking about in the fact that California, Ohio, and Florida are controlling the presidential election because they carry more electoral votes. So essentially, what we're seeing is what you're describing, but I think would be alleviated with general vote.
If it was done properly, we wouldn't
If
need the
done
electoral vote.
correct,
Okay,
we should have popular vote.
popular vote.
One vote and that's it. Just like when we vote for mayor,
Mm.
we're voting for a popular vote.
Yeah, but it's changed so much to fit so many different people's idea of how their office or their district should be ran and maintained. So we got to change it this way, and I just think it's all BS. I really do
Mm.
because it doesn't benefit us. So I think we beat that to death with the
Okay.
little bit that we know.
So we're on music.
So now we're on the music,
Last
y'all.
topic of the day, music. So
Did you notice in Trump's song that he picked for his TV show when he did the
I didn't watch his TV show. I have to honestly say I've never liked him.
I liked Trump
I
at one
don't
time.
like
Don't
him.
get me.
I never liked
I
him.
never knew Trump,
Never liked
obviously,
him.
but
The
everybody
persona,
liked. Yeah,
the
of course,
persona that
everybody
he
did.
projects,
Everybody wanted Trump, Trump,
oh
Trump.
nope, not me.
Everybody,
You can hold
we
that.
wanted Trump. Go. We wanted all that.
Okay,
Now we
if
know who he is.
I can disavow that statement can't be true because you say everybody and I'm saying I didn't, so therefore that statement there cannot be true.
Everybody who was a sucker. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
I know sucker.
OJ's For the Love of Money.
For the love of money.
He picked that as his theme song.
That doesn't surprise me.
Ain't that crazy?
It doesn't surprise me. Well, if you watch someone, they will tell you who they are. Don't let them verbally tell you who they are.
Watch their
Let their
actions.
actions show you who they
Okay,
are.
that's what's
Okay,
up.
so we're gonna move on.
That's right.
Music. So I read this article by Joe Hennigan on his website called Joe. And the article is called The Top 10 Most Iconic Songs of All Times. Now,
According to what?
no, according to record sales.
Oh, top 10 most sold
According
music.
to most sold
Okay.
music,
Okay.
most used music
Okay.
in videos, most used music in movies, most requested songs. He took all that into consideration. All right, here we go. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. I know who Nirvana is. I can't say that I know that song. If you played it, I might recognize it. Imagine by John Lennon. Totally can get that one. And that song has been covered several times. One by U2. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Totally get that. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Totally get that. Hey Jude by the Beatles. Like a Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan. I Can't Get No Satisfaction, Rolling Stones. God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses.
And you Google that. What did you Google when you found it?
No, I was just looking around at music to find something to talk about for this
Because
week.
I typed in the greatest songs of all times, and that's exactly what popped up. That same list that you just said.
Yes. See, I didn't search that. I typed in music news
Mm-hmm.
and I did that.
Google is biased.
You think?
Mm-hmm. If we typed in two
But
different things and it
I
came up with the same thing, there, the greatest band of all time.
well, another thing that I
According to
know.
what though? How can Rolling Stones be the greatest band? They're a great band, but how can they be the greatest? According to what?
Oh,
Because
well, click it and find
you
out.
got Earth, Wind and Fire, you got Stevie Wonder.
Well, Stevie Wonder's not a band.
He doesn't play by himself.
But he can play all the instruments.
But he can play. Did you know I was listening to Elton John? Guess that's why they call it the blues.
And I guess that's why they call it the
And then Stevie Wonder get
blues.
in there, do 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 do.
He's on there?
Right. That's what I'm saying. This cat
No,
is
he's not
ignorant.
on there.
Stevie Wonder has. I hate that he has to die in order for us to figure out, what
No, no,
he's
no, no,
done.
no, no,
He
no.
played the harmonica in it.
Oh, okay.
Tore
All
it up.
right. All right. Okay.
Tore it
All
up.
right. All right. All right. All right.
Just like he did with Shaka Khan. And
Which
I heard it
one?
start. Baby, baby, when I'm with
Baby,
you.
baby, when I look at
Now he
you.
came in. He was in L.A. that at the
Yeah.
time. She said he came in and he played and he just.
Mm.
Oh no!
He is
I think Stevie
Stevie,
Wonder
hats
is the
off to you.
greatest musician of
Genius.
all
Did I tell
time.
you? I probably have told you this, and I'll tell you again. I was fortunate enough to see him in concert. It was called Stevie Under the Stars, and I saw him at the Greek Theater in
That's a
LA.
good place to see somebody.
Oh my word. And his daughter
Mm.
performed. So she was one of his backup singers,
Mm-hmm.
and she came and sat down on the piano bench next to him when he sang Isn't She Lovely?
Mm. And he sung it to her because that was written about her.
Yes. Oh, that was a beautiful. And he's quite um um the word is escaping me. Philanthropist. He really gives back to people into communities. A lot of people, he downplays that, he doesn't boast about it. But I was reading and someone had mentioned an article that they read about him. And so I started looking up his work that he does giving back in multiple
Yeah, it's
communities.
it, and he doesn't have to be
Nope.
known for it. He just does it. Like I said, he just I couldn't even imagine the if you got you some headphones, some Sennheisers.
Oh,
Don't get no Dre Beats, and put some Sennheisers on.
I don't think Dre would like you telling me not to get Dre beats.
Okay, get Dre's Beat, whatever
Trying to
kind
say
you want.
who's Sim Heiser? Who's getting the money if I go buy those?
You right though. You right. Buy Dre's Beats.
Okay.
Forget
I don't think.
Sennheisers.
Okay, just first of all, I ain't buying nothing for $250 to go on my ears.
I know,
Just
right?
saying, Tesla.
Yeah, might get bopped upside the head for those. But yeah, put on some good headphones, whatever kind you have. If they the bubblegum ones from 99-cent store, whatever, and listen to Stevie Wonder in some headphones. You get a
Stevie
different
Wonder's
appreciated.
songs in the Key of Life,
Just listen to just
a
listen to him
double
for a minute.
album.
Just listen
Mm,
and realize that he's been doing it since he was a kid. He
Yes,
wasn't
like
always blind.
9. I know I know he was not born blind.
How would you describe the color blue, for instance, any just random color to a blind person?
I actually saw this movie and
Random.
right, random. I saw a movie and it was about a boy and girl who were kind of dating. One of them was blind. I couldn't remember who. And the person who was not blind was having a conversation with the blind person about how they didn't understand colors. So they thought of a way to try to communicate synesthetically what colors were. So they gave him something hot, not something that would burn them, but something hot and said, "This is the color red." And so they gave him something cool and said, "This is the color blue." And so they went through the process of trying to help them feel colors. So,
Good. That's good.
yeah.
That's good. Way better than I thought. So
Oh.
I've been like blueberries. Well, I've never seen a blueberry. Okay, well,
Have you
they
tasted a
sweet.
blueberry?
You can smell. I guess I would probably would go there because I would say smell. So that's kind of along with the
Right.
feel. So we use your other senses to describe.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you make a good
Yes.
teacher for the
And I think for
blind.
yellow, they took them outside and they felt the sunshine.
Very
And they were like,
nice.
"That's yellow."
Very nice.
Just not out here. The sunshine out here is like red.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of August, the sunshine is red.
Okay.
But right now, on a nice day where it's 70, 72, the sun on you would be
Okay.
yellow.
What about fuchsia? What about beige? What What about
Beige, look
plaid?
like this. Sit inside.
That's beige.
That's beige.
Oh, just don't move. That's beige. Oh, that's
Don't hear
horrible.
anything. Don't
Oh,
see anything. We can't see 'cause you're blind. But
oh.
don't hear anything. Don't taste anything. Don't touch anything. That's beige.
So Stevie's he's got to see at one time, and then for him to
But he
have
was a baby
a
when he lost his
connection.
sight.
I thought he got to like 7.447 when he.
I believe, if I'm remembering
Mm,
correctly, he had to go into some oxygen tank, and the oxygen was up too high, and he lost his sight.
mm.
I think.
Well, he's used all his other senses to create some of the greatest music of all time. All the other ones on the list: the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, the Eagles, Aerosmith,
Yes, he was
Queen,
born 6 weeks
and the
premature.
Beach Boys.
He was born
I would
six
agree.
weeks premature, and
Yeah.
along with the oxygen-rich environment in the hospital incubator, resulted in retinopathy,
Uh-huh.
or ROP, retinopathy of prematurity, a condition in which the growth of the eyes is absorbed and causes the retinas to detach. So he became blind. So he was a baby, yeah.
But my question would be for all these groups that I just named, would they be be able to switch over out of their comfortable element, out of their music genre,
Mm,
and still make something meaningful like a Stevie Wonder or a
mm.
Prince or somebody that can come out of their musical shell and go into something different, like Prince wrote that song for Sinead O'Connor, and
Which one was that?
um,
Uh, Shoot. I think I know what you're talking about, but it's
it's been living
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah,
16
yeah. Nothing
days.
compares to you. Yes, 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 yes,
So
yes.
that's a musician to me. It's people that can do that. The
Because
Beatles
it's about the music, not
love Paul
just, yeah.
McCartney, yeah, because it's about music.
It's
And if you
about the
just stick
words and the lyrics.
in
Yeah.
one genre, then you're pretty much just doing enough to say, you know what, I'm a pop artist. I can do this. But
Right.
if you can switch over into other
Mm-hmm.
genres and get it
Right.
done, which brings me again, random, to this guy who made this country song, and it's about riding a horse, but it's more of a hip
Right, right,
hop.
right, right, right. He's a rapper and
Hmm.
he was challenged to do a country song.
Hmm.
Yes, my daughter
And he
played
did
that
it, and
song in
it
there.
climbed the country charts.
Crazy, right?
But once they found out who he was, they took him off the country charts.
That's crazy.
Now that's
You
that
telling me something right there.
that's
I'm just saying.
it's their
Telling me
charts.
something.
It's whoever owns the charts. It's their charts. You can put whoever you want on and off, and that's why I don't follow any of these charts.
Yeah, but the
Period.
whole
You can't do that. Talking about the popular vote and people like
uh
this stuff, they're gonna
yeah.
like his music until they find out who he is, and it's like, okay, we don't like him. You don't even
Mm,
know him, right?
I agree.
It's like Hootie and the
Hoo
Blowfish.
hoo.
Hootie got done for that a lot. Listen to some of his conversations. But
Mm.
anyway, yeah, I like the Beach Boys, and I think we're pretty much, gonna round it up. Queen got some good songs. Aerosmith, the Eagles, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Rolling
The
Stones, like the
Eagles,
Rolling
love me some
Stones,
Eagles.
Beatles. But like I said, I would like to see any of those bands
Step
switch
out of
over.
their
Yeah, step.
genre in which
Yeah,
they're
just
known.
switch over into something that you don't normally do, and make it as epic. That's my take on it.
All right.
Is that it? We good?
Oh, contest. We got to tell them.
The contest.
We're running the April contest like the March contest. Ha! But some of the things have changed. I don't know. Did you get a chance to review that yet?
I have not.
Okay. So you want to just announce the ones that I'm doing?
Why am I doing some too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just like last month.
Oh, just like last month. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta get those shirts out to Shishi. I know she's already gone to dinner, but
Okay.
it's all good.
So here is how you enter, and then we'll tell you what you're going to win. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you get 5 entries. If you follow us on Facebook, 1 entry. If you follow us on Twitter, 1 entry. Follow us on Instagram, 1 entry. Share an episode or segment on your Facebook page, 2 entries. Share a link to an episode or segment via Twitter, 2 entries. Leave a comment on an episode or segment on YouTube, 2 entries. Prizes, 8 prizes. Bath Divas gift certificate, $25. A Bath Divas gift certificate for $15. A Bath Divas gift certificate for $10. Giving away 2 General City mugs, sponsor spot, and 2 Calify t-shirts. Yes. And so Street is going to embed the raffle copter Hotmail into
This link right
he's
here.
going to put it on Facebook here
and YouTube.
He's going to put it on Instagram.
Because this one's YouTube and that one's Facebook.
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube. Okay.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you click the link,
we need a producer.
Yes. If you click the link, it'll tell you exactly how to enter. So, and then you do what it tells you to do, and you'll click the button to say, I did X, Y, and Z. So that way I don't have to sit here and count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, look, that's a winner. We'll push the button on Raffle Copter and it tells us who wins. Yay!
What does a podcaster do before we go? Also, good prizes. Those are going to be fun. But a couple of things that I want to make note is that if you're into like researching on Google, scheduling, if you know a little bit about how to edit online with the computer, talking like audio production, kind of what we're doing here. And if you can, wrangle us and keep us straight.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
because Papa, I'm so hard to handle now.
You may want to be a producer for our show. And currently, as we're working this up, it's more geared toward an intern type position. But again, we do an hour a week, so we're probably talking maybe 2 hours a week.
Time.
And we can figure out, what needs to be done to make it happen. So if you're not in school, then we can talk about compensation. And if you have an idea, if you want to be a producer of a great show, because we have fun here, let us know. You don't necessarily need to be in Southern California. You can do production and be in New York. You can do production and be in Milan. Where's Milan? Italy? That sounded cool, huh? You don't have to be here to do the production for the show. You can do a lot of production. We can show you how to do it. So if you're interested, send us an IM and we'll let you know. For sure.
Yay.
That it?
That's
good?
it.
Song and dance now? We need an outro. And lastly, for those watching, if you know anybody in the music and their music isn't necessarily made for the commercial system, meaning it's not necessarily going on the radio, right? And it's not tied up in any kind of contracts or anything like that. We're looking for artists that want to help create an atmosphere where we have a show theme and a show outro and maybe some music in the background, because we're going to get that green screen working for you guys so you can watch some fun stuff. And we'll be more in entertainment when we have smaller packages of the show for you to watch, so it won't be as long. All right.
Yay! We're gonna chop them up.
Chop them up, baby.
Yeah.
Ginzu.
Yes.
So we appreciate you guys coming through. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe. Clickety click, click. Subscribe.
So that way you can watch a show on your Fire Stick. Is that what it's called?
Fire Stick.
It's all good. What's up, Uncle? I see you. Uncle Chet. He's in the house. Everybody coming through. It's all good. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for the show for today.
Thank you
No
so
song and
much.
dance. We'll see you guys
Thank you.
next
I
time.
did sing and
Oh,
dance
did you sing
already.
that?
I
Okay, it's
did.
all good. We about to get our edit on, so we'll see you next time. If you got a topic,
Bye.
drop it off. Holla. All right, there's one.